All right, so let's talk about it. All you hear these days is scam, 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 scammer this, scammer that. I'm going to say this. This is my personal opinion. My personal opinion. Yes, do you have scammers out there? Heck yeah. But is everyone a scammer? Heck no. Everybody's not a scammer, even though you do have a lot of scammers that's out there. And the reason I'm doing this video because it doesn't matter what I come across these days, you're going to always hear someone say something is a scam. Everything cannot be a scam. A lot of people think that everything is a scam because you know nothing about it, right? Or if you hear that people they're making a lot of money here, a lot of money there. Hey, I'm a millionaire now. That they're a scammer. There are people out here, to just be honest, that have the gift of jab. gift. I say jab. Gift of gab. Good Lord, child. They have the gift of gab, and they're able to talk about the product or the service that they're selling or that they're providing and get people to sign up for it. And obviously, they spit a good game for you to sign up for it. And then when that person all of a sudden they're making money, because obviously they're making money off of you. That's how the dang on world works. That's how you make money. You got to make money off of somebody else. And then they start making too much and this and everything. And or if they get mentees or other people to fall under them and everything, of course you're going to get paid off of them as well. Which some people may either just call it an MLM, right? And I get all that, but when they start making this money, sometimes it does not mean that they're a damn scam. Oops, Lord, I hope they don't cut me off. I already done cussed already. But anyway, it does not mean that they scam people, right? They're just the few who has that gift of gab, and they're able to convince people to buy their product or their service. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Now, I say I've been scammed before? I have been scammed before, but when I use the word scam for what I'm talking about, it's a little bit different. And here's what I mean by that, right? So I did get into a a get rich quick scheme. I did, like, to the point where I didn't have to do any research. That's the thing right there. If you're getting into something that you don't have to do any research on, or that you really don't have to do a lot in the first place, then that right there can lead to being scammed because you're sitting here trying to get rich quick. You're trying to get that quick money, right? And I did do that. I was sitting there throwing in some money because, hey, these people right here, they're trading for you and they're giving you a return. Now, at one point in time, they were giving people a return, but I wasn't part of that company at that time, right? So by the time I joined in, I saw folks making money. Yeah, I had some money that came in as well, though. But then afterwards, everything just went downhill, right? And then the people basically took off with everybody's money. That right there, for me personally, that right there is a scam to me because it was a get rich quick scheme, right? Yeah, they sit there and people make promises, say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and instead they run off with your money. Luckily for me, I had not dang on put a lot of money into it at that time, thank goodness. So that worked out for me, but for some people, it did not work out. And with that being said, some people, because that happened to them, they would start questioning every single thing. They would say that everything is a scam when everything is not necessarily a scam. Then you get some people who's like, oh well, I learned my lesson. I might get into something else now. It may be along the same thing and stuff, right? Cause that happened to me again. Not getting scammed, but like, okay, well, that's one thing because I knew what the risk was up front. They do tell you what the risk is. And I knew that. Now, does it make it morally right that someone would still go in and do you wrong? Heck no, it does not make it morally correct. But at the same time, I knew what I was getting myself into when it came to that. Now, on the other side of things, when you have the MLMs, I was in a MLM company some years back, right? But I will say with that, did I see people, like a lot of people be successful with it? Yes, I did. Did I see a lot of people that was not successful with it? Yes. Was I one of the ones that was not successful with it? Yes, I was. But here's my thing with that. The reason I say that I was unsuccessful with it because some of the things that you have to do when it comes to MLMs, basically reaching out to people, cold calling, warm calling, whatever the case may be, that is not my forte, right? If I know about something and I've done my research on it, I know the information I need to know, and I know for a fact that it is working for some people. Yes, I would talk about it. I may call you up and talk about it. Other than that, I don't care about it. And the reason I say that because for me, the reason I'm not successful with it because I don't like trying to convince people. Like I have my ways when I'm trying to convince people, depending on what it is. But for me, if it's something that's trying to better you, and you're like, I don't want it, and they're about to cuss me out, you know what? You can have it. It ain't that serious to me. You know what I mean? So I'm just one of those people that no, I'm not gonna stay for the long term trying to convince people. I don't like doing that. I like putting information out, and then hey, if you don't like it, cool. You know what I'm saying? If you like it, hey, let's talk. And I'm gonna move on to the next person and talk to them. I'm not going to keep trying to convince people that this right here is something for you, right? So a lot of times, so take me, even though that's how I feel and how I operated, that does not mean that I can turn around because I didn't make any money or whatever the case may be and sit here and say that something is a scam because it did not align with how I roll. You know what I mean? Some people, they can, in the exact same position as I was, they're able to go out here, talk to people, and it don't bother them, to keep trying to convince people. They'll keep doing it until they get that person that says, hey, I like what I'm hearing, let me sign on as well. You know what I mean? And I can't, and are they sitting there saying, oh, this is a scam right here? No, they kept going and doing what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and say that every dang on thing is a dang on scam because I didn't want to put the extra work into trying to convince people to do certain things. Now I do get it when you get the financial advisors and they all or experts, whatever they want to call themselves, legally, obviously, where they say, hey, they always have that disclaimer that says, hey, I'm not a financial expert, I'm not a financial advisor, and everything. Do your own research. They do that for a reason. You know why they do that? Because you get people that turn around and sit here and say, oh, it's a scam, everything is a dang on scam. It's a scam when you don't do your friggin' research. It's a scam when you don't do your friggin' research, right? Just know that when you have these MLMs, right? Yeah, you're signing people up, and then they're going to get commission off of you. And then whoever you sign up, whatever the case may be, that is part of the dang on business. So don't sit here and try to say that everything is a scam. That's how they're making their money. Right? You make your money off of someone else. Yes, you're making money off of the product as well, but you're mostly making your money off of other people. It does not make it a dang on scam. Some people might sit here and call it a pyramid scheme, which, yeah, sometimes you do have pyramid schemes, whatever, though. But if these are people's professions, and if they have the fortitude to go ahead and say, you know what, this is what I want to do, and they're going to do everything they need to do, minus lying and stuff like that. Now, that's a different story. You sit here lying to people about different things, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But I still won't call it a scam, right? Because at the end of the day, you got to make your money and stuff like that. Yes, you are selling a product. You are selling a service, right? Are you trying to say that the product is a defect? Is the service a defect? Is someone benefiting in the product? Are they benefiting with the service that they're getting, right? If someone right now wants to come to me and say, hey, and I know they're working, sometimes you don't know if they're, MLM or anything like that. Sometimes you don't know that. But let's say you do know, or don't, whatever. And they're selling something to you or providing this service to you, and you actually find the service or the dang on product beneficial, then yes, it's a win-win. Like, okay, I like it. I can't turn around and sit here and say, oh, they scam me, but yet the product I'm sitting here using, like the dang on lip gloss. Do this lip gloss make my lips shiny? It sure do. Now, do I want the lip gloss to make my lips shiny even more? Especially right now. Yeah, I do. Stop. Yes, I do. But I know that it makes my lips shine. So I can't sit here and say the person that sold this to me, oh, they're a scam. No, they are not. Stop sitting here saying that every single thing is a scam. I am going to say this, though. There's you know what? I'm on top for myself. As you can see, you see my skin color. I'm black, all right? Probably black. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we didn't have a lot of opportunities that came to us. You know what I'm saying? So now you at a point when opportunities are coming to you now. You know, and I get sometimes, especially as black people, we can be like less trustworthy of people, and we know why we do that. You know what I mean? And but everything, we can't sit here and think that every opportunity that comes to us is a scam, right? I can't sit here and say every single thing is a scam. Yes, we are weary of a lot of stuff, but a lot of things too. If we want to get ahead even further than what we are now, hey, you gotta take a risk. You gotta take chances, right? Every single thing that comes to you, again, is not going to be a scam. Some things can be an opportunity. And I would say this too. Let's say you do get scammed. Okay, I get it. Afterwards, you may be cautious. You're going to move a little more cautious and everything. There's nothing wrong with that. But are we going to look at every single thing as a scam like that's presented to us? You can't do that. Yeah, do your due diligence, do your research. Make sure that, hey, what they're talking about is legit. Get online, look it up, find other people who has been involved with it and everything. It takes a lot of dang on research sometimes to confirm, hey, this is something right here that I want to go with. And if you're seeing something, reading something, or you're hearing something that you don't like, then hey, take a step back. But what I would say, don't be completely shut off from the possibilities that, hey, this right here is something that can change my life. Because again, everything is not a scam. And that's all I want to say right here on this video. If you like what you heard, like the video, hey, leave a comment. I'm fine with it, but if you go crazy, I'm gonna go crazy back with you. I'm just letting you know. All right, let me stop. But yeah, like the video, consider subscribing to the channel, and I'm leaving it at that. All right, bye.